Hi, I'm Sherri Lewis, and welcome to another episode of the God Zone Testimonies and Stories. When I was making the decision to move to Cameroon, me and God had a conversation, and I wanted to just go over and visit. I didn't want to move my whole life. And so we kind of sat down and had a conversation. So he's like, "So what's wrong with moving over there?" And I'm like, "Well, the beds. Like, you sleep on a foam mattress that's about this thick, and then when you lay on it, it squashes down like this. So you're literally sleeping on wood slats the whole night." And I feel like I didn't have a good night's sleep the whole time. And so God was like, "Okay, ship your bed." And I just went through a whole list of things that I felt like I was missing or felt like I didn't want to live without. And every single one, God was like, either buy it when you get to Cameroon or ship it over. So I end up with this huge list of things that I want to ship. Like, if you want to wash your clothes, you either have to wash them by hand or you have to have a washing machine. And then the furniture, it's like all the furniture is made with wood with this, again, thin foam. So you sit down on a chair and you're sitting on wood. I felt like I was uncomfortable the whole first two trips that I was there, just sitting on wood, sleeping on wood, lying on wood the whole time. So I was like, "God, I need comfort. I am the DivaMissionary after all." So he just said, "Ship your stuff." So as I'm getting close to making the decision to move over, I'm like, "Okay, how am I supposed to ship my stuff? I don't know anything about shipping to another country." So I started talking to people and had no clue what to do. So rewind, I told the story in the God Zone that my dad was really, really sick and he almost died. And when he was sick, there was a home health nurse that came to take care of him. And when she started talking, I'm like, "Wait a minute, where are you from?" And she said, "Cameroon." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I just got back from Cameroon. I love your country. I want to be a missionary in your country." And she says, "Oh, my brother is a missionary and he's from Cameroon, but he's been a missionary in America and now he's moved back to Cameroon. So I have to get your information and give it to him." So I gave her my information. This was November. And I didn't hear from him at all. So April, here I am trying to figure out how I'm going to ship my stuff over to Cameroon. So I'm chatting with the young lady that was helping me to move over. We're chatting on, I don't know, one of those social media things. And she says, "How are you going to ship your stuff?" And I'm like, "I don't know. We need God to do something." So right in the middle of that, my phone rings. It's an unknown number. I hate talking on the phone. I never answer unknown numbers. But for some reason, I was like, "Hang on a second, the phone is ringing." And I answered. And there was a Cameroonian gentleman on the other end of the line. And he said, "I am so sorry I haven't called you. My sister gave me your number back in November. I was supposed to call, but I've been so busy. This is Ernest Ahabe, and what can I do to help you move to my country?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's so great to meet you, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "I'm so honored that you're coming. We're so grateful that you're coming to help Cameroon. What can I do for you?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And so God says, "Tell him." And I'm like, "Well, I'm trying to figure out how to ship my stuff over." And he says, "Oh, I just started a company for shipping things from the United States to Cameroon." This is the God Zone. This is the kind of stuff that happens in the God Zone. Just crazy coincidences. I'm in the middle of a chatting conversation saying I need a way to ship my stuff. And next thing I know, this guy who I haven't heard from November to April calls me and he's just started a shipping company. So I said, "Okay." So I start packing. You know, we made arrangements when he was going to be in the States again. And I start packing. And the packing got a little bit out of hand. So, at first I was like, "Well, I need to take my bed so I can get a good night's sleep." And I remember that the sheets weren't really nice. So let me take my sheets. And I didn't really like the comforters. And I want my room to feel like my room. So let me pack my comforter. Yes, the DivaMissionary. And I got to take my washer and dryer, got to take my refrigerator because those little European refrigerators are too small. And I just came up with a list of things that I had to take. I had to take my leather furniture set. I have a beautiful red leather chair that you'll hear about if you listen to the Affectionately series. That red leather chair is my throne where I sit and I talk to God, so I couldn't leave it behind, right? So the packing list got way out of control. I have to admit, the packing list got really, really serious. And I gave away stuff. I did give away as much as I possibly could, but I couldn't give away my books. We had to start a library in Cameroon. And so boxes and boxes of books. I had to take my dishes because I needed some nice looking dishes. And yeah, it got out of control. So he calls me and he says, I'm in Atlanta. Let me come pick up your stuff. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, I'll grab a U-Haul and I'll come pick up your stuff. So this man rents a U-Haul, comes to my house. He is physically helping us to lift everything and put it on the truck. And then he drives away with it. And I'm like, don't I have to give you some money? And he's like, yeah, just give me $2,000. And I'm like, okay. Because I didn't really know how much it should cost. So after he takes my stuff away, and then I'm like, how much do I need to save to give him to pay the balance? And I start doing research. And I realized that the amount of stuff that I loaded onto this U-Haul that he paid for was going to cost me about $10,000 to get off the ship. And I was really upset with myself. I was really, really mad at myself. I had paid off everything except my house. I had saved up enough money to live on for 2 years. But that money was going to pay to start the school. It was going to pay for plane tickets. It was going to pay for my apartment. It was going to pay for my entire move to Cameroon. And I did not want to spend 10,000 of it because I was being a diva. Like, I could have done better. And I just kept beating myself up and was just really upset. And then it was like, well, just get over it. It's done now. Your stuff is on a container somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. So the stuff arrived and it was kind of late. And we rent a truck to go and pick it up from the place where he's offloading the container. And as every box is coming off the ship, as the boxes of books, the boxes of sheets, I took towels, all this stuff from my house to make things feel like home. And as we're loading off box after box, I'm like, Sherri, why did you do this? Why did you do this? You're going to spend $10,000. This is a huge portion of your savings. Why did you have to be such a diva? Why couldn't you do better? And so, instead of being excited that my stuff had finally arrived, because we won't talk about what it takes to clear customs with stuff, but instead of being excited, I'm just like, oh, I can't believe I did this. We filled up an entire truck with all this stuff for me to take home. And so we fill the truck. My guys that came with me get in the truck, and I walk back to Mr. Ahabe, and I'm like, how much do I owe you? And he says to me, oh, you don't owe me anything. Thanks for coming to serve my country. I cried half the way home. Can I just say that? I cried half the way home. And that was the first. That was like an early miracle in so many miracles that have happened in the God Zone, where all of a sudden a debt of $10,000 is zero. And that's what God does. That's what he does when you're in the middle of his perfect will. That's what he does when you have laid down your life and you're seeking to expand the boundaries of his kingdom. That's what he does over and over and over again. So if you are in the process of preparing to take that leap of faith to launch into your own God zone and you're worried about provision, you're worried about finances, please don't worry. He is so faithful. He is so good. And he loves to surprise you. Mr. Holly could have told me at the very beginning, all I want from you is $2,000. You don't owe me anything else. But I just felt like it was much more of a God testimony, just waiting and sweating and worrying and crying. And then finding out after I loaded up the entire truck that it wasn't going to cost me anymore. He's faithful. He's good. So if you're waiting to make your leap of faith, trust him. He is a provider. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel and like and comment. I promise I will try to write you back. I don't know how many comments there might be. And then follow me on social media on Instagram and Facebook. I am Sherri Lewis. And then if you'd like to get a copy of the God Zone where it has this and so many other testimonies, the link is in the description for this video. God bless.